Hey everyone, this is Yami, your Latina next door. Welcome back to my channel. A few days ago, I shared several DIYs that you can do with the Dollar Tree mini houses. However, many of you shared your concerns that you could not find these houses in your local Dollar Trees, so I decided to show you guys how to make these from scratch. So if you too share that dilemma and want to learn how to make these, please keep watching. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is get this poplar piece of wood that I buy at my local Home Depot. It is only $1.05. It is 2 inches by 36 inches in length. You can make one house with less than one of these. And as you can see here, it is slightly thicker than the little trim that goes around the houses. And it's a little bit deeper than the trim as well, but this is the closest you're going to get. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is get some Dollar Tree poster board. And you know the little inserts that I made for the previous ones that I changed up for Dollar Tree? Well, I'm going to put that on top of the poster board and I am going to trace that insert. So once the insert has been traced, I am going to place that little poplar board on the outside of each line and I'm going to trace the lines on the outside. This is what's going to create the trim for the outside of the little house. Now I know a lot of you don't have the houses in order to begin these templates, so I will be providing these templates for you. So make sure you stick around towards the end of the video so that you know exactly where to get these yourself. Okay, so after I created the template, it was time to mark the places where I needed to make the cuts. So as you can see, I placed the wood on the inside of that border and I marked on the inside of that mitered edge. Now, these bottom mitered corners are the only ones that are going to be 45 degrees. Here you can see the lines that I drew on the wood. I lined up the wood where it needed to go. And I placed the saw in the little 45-degree angle slots and I began to cut it. I cut the other side and then I sand both edges smooth. So after that's done, I take it back to the template and make sure it fits. Now, because the rest of the angles, like right here and here and here, they're not 45-degree angles, I went ahead and printed out and cut out another set of a template. And then I cut them out individually and labeled them top right, top left, right, and left. I can then place those templates right on top of the piece of wood and trace the exact angles that I need. For this one, it's one of the sides, so one of them was already 45 degrees. The other one I'll have to make custom. And what I mean is, usually the board goes straight against the little miter saw kit like this. But since this one is not a 45-degree angle and those little slits are, I'm going to have to pull it away like you see me doing right here and hold it down so I can get that right angle that I traced from that template. Now if you do this, just make sure you have a firm grip on that piece of wood so it doesn't slide, and make sure you keep the blade in between those grooves in order to prevent any accidents. Now if you want to go a step further, I do like to use utility gloves like the ones I'm using right here in order to protect my hands whenever I'm doing woodworking projects like this. I'll try to include a link to these particular ones in my description box. If not, I will try and find ones very similar. And then as I continue cutting different pieces, I go back to the pattern and make sure they line up properly. And then all I did was continue using my patterns. Of course, if any edges needed adjusting or if any of them had any splinters or weren't even, I'd go ahead and just sand them down until I got the right edges the way I needed them. And here's what we have so far. Now, this is my first time, so the edges weren't exactly perfect as I would like them. However, I thought this was a good start. Plus, the more I did it, the better I got. Of course, now we need a foam piece for the inside of this in order to hold up that frame. And we're going to cut from that same pattern that we had earlier, and we're going to cut that insert out of a foam board. So I wanted to go ahead and cover that foam board, so I took this white shiplap scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby and I cut it to size. And I used that glue stick from Dollar Tree in order to adhere it on. Next, it was time to assemble the little house, so I went ahead and laid all of the wood pieces and put the foam piece in the center. I first began with the bottom wood piece and I used hot glue in order to adhere it to the foam board. And then I continued on with the rest of the wood pieces, making sure that I glued the back of each one to butt up to the foam board, as well as those corners that meet up. And of course, I did the same process for the short square ones. And here are those finished mini houses. I really think they turned out great, and if you did too, please make sure to give this video a like. I left the wood bare for this tutorial, but you can always customize it by staining it or painting it. Don't forget that you can also customize the back. I ended up using that template that I was working on, and I cut it out, added a cute little Merry Christmas wreath on it, and then just glued it to the back of the smaller house. And I have a double-sided house here as well. Of course, I tried to make this as easy as possible for everyone to make these. So I created these templates for you all to print out, and they are to scale. I made sure to label all of the trim, top right, top left, right, and left. And you can access these in my printables library on my website. Once you click the link in my description box, it will take you to this page. And then once there, make sure to read the directions and enter your information so that you can get this special link as well as the password in order to access all of my printables. And then you'll be ready to make as many of these little houses as you want. I really do hope this video was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe to get more DIYs like this. I'll go ahead and add more fall DIYs, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, adios!